Here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up. That's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish. Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. Go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up. That's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly. Where the weed at indeed. How are you going? Rage, you are indeed first. Welcome to the show. How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. That wood you got is something else. I saw that the other day and it is amazing. Good pickup. That one's a good score. We've got to slot this guy today. We've got this guy roughed out. Got the tenon cut out. Got everything else. Got that angle in there. We've got this roughed out, got the headstock sort of cut out. Time to get the edges done, but not until we get the fretboard on there. And then we'll basically route them clean against that fretboard edge. And it'll be precise as it gets by hand. So we're going to do the slots. Hey, Terry, what's going on? Dana's here as well. Good to see you guys. Welcome on in. Rage was showing off his magnificent wood yesterday. If anyone hasn't seen it, get on the Discord, have a look at his channel there, or his room, his folder, whatever you want to call it. Now, let me count these because I think this is all gone pear-shaped. Hang on. What's our slot? Here we go. 24 3/4. Let's measure this dude out and see what the heck is going on. 24. Okay, that's fine. 24 feet. There it is there. Okay, 24. That's good. So we've got this guy done. Now we need to slot this guy. So if I get to the bench, we're going to just remark this guy out, slot this, and then it'll be ready to be glued on to the neck. And then we'll radius that tomorrow, get it trimmed up, radius it, and get the neck towards the finishing stages. Got a bit of work to do here on this heel, but we'll do that once we get everything organized. I've slipped the truss rod a little bit further back into the tenon. That's going to give us a nice little access point there. We're going to probably cover that with a nice big fancy access cover that will probably match the bottom. I might even go for a laminate. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. Everyone is well, Dana. Everyone is well. That's what's going on. So let's start slotting this guy. My eyes aren't the best today, so bear with me. I'm going to struggle a little bit Methinks. Methinks. I'm just going to remark these guys. God, I need some light in here. I need some heavy duty light. I need more light. How am I going to fix that? I've got a torch here. Will that shine the light? No, it's yellow. I need white light here because I'm getting a very bad reflection and it's sort of throwing me off. Anyway, let's just do this. I might just mark these out again, given that I know where they are. Oh, wrong one. Helps to use the right scale. Always use the right scale, ladies and gents. No wonder it looked a bit funny. Okay, that's better. Okay, this is the right scale. Have I got the right scale? Indeedy I do. Okay, that's marked, that's marked, that's marked. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. That's okay, 12th is okay. Here we go. 13, 10, 9, 8. These are already marked, but they've faded a little bit and I can't see them very well. So I'm just going to remark them. That's a bit better. Really, really, really bad. Looks like Gio is leaving Colorado tomorrow. He's going back to Canada for a couple of days. And then he's off to flying to Vancouver and then driving down to Washington, Spokane, Washington State. He's got a trial there coming up. So, and then he'll decide what's. We'll see if he gets any offers from any of those clubs that he's tried out. So, keeping an eye and an ear out for any progress he's making. Washington isn't far from you, Rage. Are you in Portland? Or Oregon, I should say? Isn't that the next state? Okay, I've marked this out a little bit better. Just to line this guy up. Okay, I can see them now. So I'll be able to cut them. I'm wondering if I should use my black pen. Let me grab a black pen. It might be better. I have a fine one. This one might work really well. I'm just having troubles. This fretboard is really hard to see the pencil. It's not quite dark enough and it's not quite light enough. It's sort of in that area. It's sort of better. Sort of, not really. I can make that a bit better. No. You know what? I might just use a really fine marker pen. I've got a 1 millimeter extra fine, extra small, really small. That guy there, that should work. That's really sharp too, so that should give me a good line. Let's see if that makes a difference. Oh yeah, that's heaps better. Okay, I can see them now. If I mark with this, I'll be able to see it. Okay, good. I found the answer. I'm going to use this little tiny marker pen and remark those. And I can actually see them. You can actually see them a little bit better too. This stuff that's all over it. So I've got to find where these guys are again. Let me get the scale on here. Let's mark these out. So that one's there, there. Hmm. You can see those marks. Oh yeah, he's travelled a bit. He's hey Karen Day, what is going on? And Tom's in the house. What's going on, Tommy? Yeah. No, I'm not going to scratch him in. You can't scratch him in. It's too inconsistent. This marker's going to be fine. It's very rough here, so scratching it in is not going to work because we've got some of this bulky glue over the top of where the line should go. A nice, just either end is fine. I'll just join them up and just remark them again. Even if I can see most of the end, I can know where the blade can start and finish. That's all I need. I can see that now. They're a little bit clearer with this pen here. They're already marked. They're just very faint. My eyes aren't the best today. How you doing, Karen? What's going on? Tell me. Okay, that's a lot better. We'll be able to get these done in no time. That's good. I can see that. I can see that pretty well. Yeah, that's very, very clear. It's good. Ah, Always use the right scale. Absolutely. I fricked it up there, didn't I? I stuffed it up like the doofus that I am. Like the doofus that I am. Where's that bloody line? Holy smokes, man. Almost invisible. Mundi. That's good. That's good. And there is marked. There's marked. Orby! What is happening, friends? Welcome to the show. Orby, thank you very much for the raid. Big shout out for that, man. Please, Terry. Or Rage. Absolutely. Griggles, what's going on, brother? How was your stream? Did you have fun? What did you do? Did you wind pickups? Did you rock and roll? Did you bang your head? Did you rip out some serious solos? Did your amps go to 11? We want to know it all. We want to know it all. Welcome on in. Thanks for being here. We're just slotting this guy. We've got our inlays in there. We're just going to slot this guy, get it prepped to glue down to the blank. We've got our blank all roughed out. Followed me. We've got our headstock done. We've got our tenon done. We've got to sort out our heel, but we're going to get that on there, and that will we'll be able to route against that fretboard edge and get the sides nice and straight. Paula Hamo, hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Winding pups, no jamming today. Good to see me. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure to catch you and to see you hang out. Pull up a pew, as they say. Pour yourself your favourite poison. Pull up a pew. We have Cat's the Skin. And I don't mean that, that's metaphorically speaking, Terry, for you cat lovers and Orby. When I say Cat's the Skin, I'm talking metaphors. Do not get offended. I'm just losing the visibility on some of these lead lines, so I'm just using a marker to reinforce those. There's 12. I've got to get that right because all our intonation runs off that guy as well. So let's see, make sure the scale rule is telling us where it needs to be. Yeah, that's fine. That's where it needs to be. Just got to get these right. Very hard to do when the edges are tapered because you can't put a square up against there and rely on that. You need to actually mark them and join the dots like so. They're okay. They're pretty good. We've got this guy in here. There and there. Double check that. Always double check what I'm seeing. Yep, that looks good. There we go. Spot on. There. Okay. Good old 9. Big fat 9. Big tile. 8. Double check 8. Okay. I think we're getting there. The marker is running over that glue, and it does, now that it's hardened there and cured, it does stain that and show us where it's meant to be. So that line is visible right through there. We'll be able to slot that pretty easily with a saw. Gotcha. Gotcha. Number 3, number 2, and number 1. Okay, we're good to go. Now we can slot this guy. Let's put this away. Confident that we've got it all. And of course, we're going to bind this as well next. After I slot it, I'm going to bind it. So let's get the slots down in there. I'm going to use our little fine fretting saw. I always use a nice big thick blade against it, and this square is going to be fine because it does give me a nice big solid base and it holds down that guy. So what we'll also do is clamp it down just on the end here. No, I won't clamp it down. It should be okay. Let's just slot this guy. So we can see that line pretty clearly now. Just let me score that first. It's a little bit funny on the end here. Yeah. Really hard. Really hard. There we go. Once we've got it in there, we can run that freehand. The reason I'm going to bind it before we glue it down is because I want to route against the thickness of the binding. I might try the other saw. It's a little bit better. Let me pull this one down. Oh, get out of there. Yeah. This one's a little bit sharper, I think. Checking that. This gets quicker as we go. The end is really, really tricky right here. Something bigger on there. The binder is not dangled over the neck. That's correctly right, Texas. It's flush to the edge of the neck. That's why we got to bind it first and then glue it down. Just getting a little bit of depth in here as I'm going to radius this, and some of that depth will go. Go down about 1/8 of an inch. It'll probably come back to about a 1/16, and then we'll probably just clean it out and back to about 330 seconds, and that should drive it in. Okay. Where's this guy? Okay, there he is. Right there. It's a little bit tricky, this one, because it's got that glue there. Top. Once we cut through that, we'll be good. There we go. Okay. That glue's throwing me out a little bit, so let me quickly just recheck this fret here. Okay, they're all good. Yep. Cool. Okay, cool. That one. We're getting there, slowly but surely. We're getting there. That's 15 done. We're at 14, 12, sorry, 14 done, 12, 13, 12. Okay, we're almost there, halfway. The rest will be easier because they're easier to see. 12. You take a break. Have a drink. What is happening? Bindi seems to be Stephen address. Bindi Irwin? Hey, Nifty, what's going on? You, Mr. Australia Zoo aficionado. I don't know if the Irwins still run it. Nifty might know. Yeah, Queensland's sort of central to northeast coast. It goes from halfway up, say, you look at the American map, around about, I don't know, after Florida, not before New York, and goes sort of up to about Halifax in Canada, Nova Scotia. That's the coastline of Queensland. And that's half the Australian coastline on the east coast. And the rest goes from about New York down to about Florida. We're about the same size. I don't think they're involved. They might be owners, but they might be on the board, but I don't think they actually operate it anymore. I think Hollywood and all that stuff got in the way. And I think Terry is an American lady, right? So she may have moved back there with her now partner, whoever that is. I've forgotten who she's with. But and Bindi, I think, is married or has a kid as well with someone. They're all grown up. What about Bob? Bob looks exactly like his old man. You're living on, oh, they could, Nifty, you're probably right, mate. Why would you want to leave where they are? It's a beautiful part of the world. It's like, and they love what they do, so why would you ever leave that? It's not like you can take a dozen 5-meter or 30-foot saltwater crocs with you to America or something like that. There's some big boys up there, let me tell you. They make Florida alligators look like lizards compared to crocs. The crocs we got here. I would. You would what, Terry? Move where? Terry, you would love Queensland. It's hot. It's humid, it's tropical, it has large snakes, it has massive crocodiles. You can't swim in the ocean from about halfway up the coast in the northern end of the state. You can't swim in the ocean because of the box jellyfish in summer. You can't swim in the ocean because of sharks. You can't swim in the ocean because of sea snakes. You can't walk through the jungle because of other snakes. The spiders are bigger than your head. You would love it there, Terry. It screams Terry to me. Or Terry would scream, probably. That's what Nifty does. Nifty's a wrangler. He wrangles huge spiders and snakes. That's what he does. He does that for fun. Sounds pleasant. You'd love it, Rage. You'd man up. Something crazy. That's what you'd do. You'd man up. Live on the zoo grounds. Yeah, you would. It would be nice. I reckon they'd have a really good spread there too, a really good pad. The layout would be awesome, I reckon. There's also a zoo in Canberra which is the nation's capital, like DC. It's a complete and utter sideshow circus. But there is a hotel nearby, which is a zoo, and it's a five-star hotel as well.
Mom, somebody just followed me.
You can pretty much have a bath, and your wall is a glass window about 3 inches thick, and there's like leopards and tigers on the other side just sitting there watching you bath. Or you can sleep and you pull the curtains, and there's a glass window, and that's the den of the lions, and you can see them through your window. Thong is underpants. Thong is not underpants. Thongs are flip-flops. But I get it. Yes, thong is a stringy underpant as well, Rage. Rage, why do you know about these things? Isn't it funny that Australians call flip-flops thongs? And New Zealanders call them jangles. Flip-flops are called jangles in New Zealand. What a funny word. I love it. Jangles. Put on your jangles. We're going crimping. Crimping is like jumping across rock hopping. We're going crimping. Put your jingles on, brew. That's what your Maoris would tell you. It's funny, Rage. It's true, but Nifty is wearing his thongs. He wears his thongs all the time up there because it's bloody hot. And by that, I mean his jangles. Or his flip-flops, as you Yanks would call it. Right, this is a pain in the butt. God, this wood's hard. Ebony is so freaking hard. I hate slotting ebony. It's one of the worst things. Terry, do I hate slotting ebony? Is it one of the worst things that I hate the most? Freaking yes, it is. It's thong time. Nifty, I love a little bit of thong time. It's always good to get the thongs out. Rage is probably cacking himself to death. And by cacking, I mean laughing. Like a kookaburra. Not filling his pants. Not that kind of cacking. Lost in translation, Nifty. You believe I've said that before. Terry, would you think that I would say it before? Do you reckon? Do you reckon there's a good chance that I said that someday, some time ago? Potentially, maybe even. What do you think? Would I have said that? Somewhat? Mentioned it in passing? Maybe? There's a chance, isn't there? God, I hate slotting ebony. Couple to go. Less than a dozen. About 8. Rant. Astro Caleb, what is going on? How you doing? Come on in. Welcome in. What is happening? Are you well? Imbo, do it yourself. Thank you for doing it yourself and following. clicking on the button. And if those of you that haven't followed us yet on YouTube, please go and check it out. Click on the little subscribe button. Help us along there. What is going on here, Terry? We're losing the plot. Nice. Okay, we got it. Okay, we're almost there. 7 to go. I'm going to try some material in a minute for binding this fretboard. I have a very thin veneer that I'd like to try. It's light coloured, it's wooden. We're going to definitely use a wooden veneer to bind this with. We're going to bind the side edges, the back, leave obviously the top. Those three sides will be bound. It's very thin and it's very, very pliable and bendable. And actually that's the stuff I want to use, the same stuff for the body as well as the neck. Okay, a couple to go. Let's line that doofus up. Where is that dot? Aha, I found you, a rascally one. Good. Getting there. Getting there. There's 4, or 3 I should say. No, that's 4. That's 5, sorry. 4's over here. Almost there. We're almost there. we go. Kicking along. Gotcha. Rascally wabbit. Couple more. Where is it? The one. One more. Lucky last. Okay, slotted fretboard. We can glue this down now. No, we can't. We've got to bind it now. So I'm going to just grab some of that binding material and just check it. I may not be happy with it. The options I have are cypress, which is one I always use. It's almost like maple. It's very light in colour. Okay, you can imagine that colour against there. It's a nice contrast. So if you were to put that like so, you'd see that binding in white, or that off-white yellowy colour. We also have this thin laminate, which has got more grain. It's also got a lot more colour. Got a thin laminate. It's a little bit yellower, but it's also a white wood. And that's really thin. I like the fact that that's really thin. You can see how thin that binding is there. It's about right. I like it thin. I don't like thick binding. I like thin binding. It doesn't alter the thickness of the neck greatly. That might work, that binding there. I need to sand it though. Get all this gunk off the end of it. It has all this border that I have to remove, and then I'll see if I can slice a piece of this off and see if I can use it. The same colour, Tom. I'm using the same binding for the body and the neck. So if I use this for the neck, let me just sand that quickly so I can get the colour out. I'm going for a natural binding look. I don't want it to be too stark. We're going to have a beautiful coloured top and a beautiful mahogany body. I want it to be blending in naturally without it being too plasticky. That's why I'm going for the wood option. If I show you this, you'll see what I mean. It's almost like a maple colour. Okay, and I'll show you what it's like against the body as well. Okay, so there's your binding, and against the body it would be where's that mahogany body? Okay, there's the body, which will be darker because that's going to get oiled, and that's a lighter colour. If that gets darker, oiled on the back, I'm talking about, and the front's going to be an amber. That should work nicely as the binding. It's quite white. It's quite white. Yeah, I think it'll work. I mean, I've got other options, but I don't want to cut up thick pieces and thickness, tiny little, 1/16 of an inch binding. So what I want to do is use this already laminated bit, cut a little piece, use the rest for the body. There's enough there to make 3 or 4 pieces. And I've got more of this stuff as well. I'm just going to cut some up now and see what it looks like bound or taped to the fretboard. Let's just tape it to the fretboard, get that prepared, and see what it looks like. And once we tape it, we'll then glue it down and strap it up and let it set with super glue. Then we'll scrap, and then of course the good thing about this is it's going to sand cleanly, given that it's made of wood. As we radius that, it'll radius the binding as well nicely. It'll radius the binding nicely. We don't have to scrape it later with a razor like you would plastic. I'm going to do it in one hit. I think if I cut a piece and bind it the same thickness as the fretboard, 1/4 inch or 5 mil, then by the time we take a mil or two off that, it gets down to 4, then that's going to be perfectly aligned. And then all we have to do is just dig out the fret slots in there. We cut the tangs with our nippers on the frets, and the frets will overhang and not actually bite into there. You'll see a nice hidden slot on the edge, so it's going to be clean as a whistle. I like it. Okay, well, we're going to try it anyway. I want to see what it looks like. So first things first, I need to clean this crap up because there's all this garbage on it. So let me get my scraper. That might be the best way to quickly clean that thin edge without breaking it, I guess. There we go. Okay, that's damaging it, so I'm not going to do that for too long. I'll get some sandpaper, a block. I'll just use a sanding block. Crack bang with a raid. What's going on, Rose Bigale? How you doing? Thank you for the raid. What's going on, guys? Welcome on in. Yeah, that's the real color there. You can see how light that actually is. So when you put that guy on there, it's going to pop nicely. It's a nice white color. Natural color though, a nice natural wood color. How you doing? Welcome on in. Woo, guitar building. That's what we're doing. Pat, Cat, Amber, what is going on? How is your stream, guys? What is going on? What are you up to? What do you guys do? Tell me. My name's Manny. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and we build guitars. And we're making a Les Paul style. There's an acoustic I'm working on. I'll show you what you guys what we've been working on. We use really kooky woods. We love our woods. So this one here is an acoustic we're making. Nice, what they call bunya pine. It's got a couple of coats of oil on it. We've got Queensland maple sides, a black binding. And look at that beautiful Queensland maple quilt. Look at that guy. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. I just want to sleep on it. Cute. We've got the nice oil on there now, and it's starting to get a bit of a nice matte finish. And we're getting that guy done very, very slowly. And we've got a neck for that guy, which looks like so. guy goes in there. So we're going to put that neck in there like that. We're going to glue that guy down. It's got a nice black heel to match the binding. It's got gold threads. That's the kind of thing that we do. We also make electrics. Made a few electric. We're making an electric now. And I'll show you guys that one as well. Pop these down. So this electric is going to be an LP style. We've roughed out the neck. We've got the truss rod through there. The headstock shape looks like that. Okay, the body is going to be a Les Paul style of shape, if you can see the shape there. Okay, one cutaway. And we're putting a beautiful maple cap on it and carving the top. So we're going to have a nice, big, beautiful flamed maple cap. Nice light color. We're going to color that amber. It's called Tiger Eye. It's a black accent on the stripes. And an amber looks like basically like a piece of amber. That's what we're going to do. Individual people, yes, I do. I take commissions. Absolutely, I build for individual people. If you need anything or you want to know more information, reach out to me. Throw me a DM. My Instagram, if you guys want to follow, !Insta. Have a look at all the stuff I make there, and you'll get a good idea of what we do. Cole Clark, I run for the money. Nifty, I don't know about that. But you know what? Why not, I say? Why not? Give him a red-hot go. That's what I reckon. A red-hot run for his money. It's okay. We're getting there. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just sanding some binding and getting some strips of wood that I want to dress this fretboard up with. We've got mother of pearl on this fretboard, big blocks. And you can see I've covered them up in this black gunk or brown gunk. It's the same colored sawdust with some glue to fill in the gaps. And when we sand that flat, you'll see those white blocks pop out. And that's going to be the fretboard that's going to go on that neck. But we're going to bind that fretboard with pieces of wood like so. We're going to cut out strips of wood and dress the edges to make it look a little bit more vintage-like, and a little bit neater and a little bit more classier. Why not? That's the way. Thank you very much, Terry, for all those links. So approve of the amber colouring. Thank you very much. I think amber is a beautiful colour, especially for a carved top, especially with something with a lot of figure. Check it out, guys. Thanks for being here again. I really appreciate it. And hopefully, guys, drop Crack Bang a follow, please. And make sure you guys catch up with them next time they're on. Thanks for dropping in, and stick around if you've got time. I need something a little bit oomphia. Is that the word for it, Terry? Oomphia? Let me grab some sandpaper and a wooden block. It'll work a little bit better. Just a little bit soft there. I'll grab some 240. We'll use a block. It'll just be a little bit better, I think. Just going to give us a sharper and a quicker result.
Mom, somebody just followed me.
Thank you for the follow, Rose. Appreciate that. Getting all this trimming off is a pain in the backside, but we've got to do it. Expose the real colour. Under there it is. What I do is we want to measure the fretboard. I think about 6 or a 1/4 inch. It is exactly that. We're going to cut about 9 millimeters. We're going to give it a couple of mils of overhang. We're going to sand that, scrape that, sand that flush. But that's what we'll do. So we're going to cut 9, probably be about a third of that way down. Let's measure this out. Okay, we need to come up here. Still a bit more to go. This is quite thin. We'll be able to cut this with like a surgical scalpel or a sharp blade. Should be able to be stripped pretty easily. There's our length there. Let me just measure that. Let's cut that right across there. Okay, we've got enough of an overhang there to do fancy things with the back of it. Now I need to basically measure 9mm across, get a straight edge on here, which just happens to fit exactly the same. We want to measure 9. About there. Make it 10, it doesn't matter. And 10. We are going to sand a little bit, so let's not worry too much about it, as long as we're straight. And I want to rule a line there and just cut that through with a knife and separate those pieces. If I grab my scalpel, try my scalpel, which is razor sharp, and just start there. Without slipping and shredding my fingers. Let's not try and do that. It's a little bit tricky. It does slip a little bit. And we might have to use a different blade. Cutting this with a big thick saw blade is probably going to hurt it because it will shred it. This blade might be thin enough. Let's see if I can strip it with this. Just rip through it gently. Yeah, that's going to work. I just score it with a knife, and that will get it. Give me a nice guideline, little pilot line, so the blade runs across it. It's just a little bit on the thin side, this blade. You'd almost break that, snap that through. There we go. That's what I wanted to do, snap it clean. Cut it right through. I'll just keep cutting until I cut through the fibers. You can hear that cutting right through. It should just break off. Yeah, separates it nicely. Very slippery. not paper thin, but it's cardboard thin, and you can just snap it off like that. And then just put the edges clean. What did I do with that paper? Get all the fibres off. So, both sides. Okay, and that piece there will go along and bind that fretboard like so. A little bit of overhang on each side, and that's fine. We're going to sort that out and fix that up. And what we need to do now, see, and that's what it's going to look like. And that's not a bad binding. That's a nice binding. I do like that. It's a nice thickness. Not too big. It's about 2 mil, maybe 1/16 or so. Ha! You can always, Sleepy, you can always wear gloves. Sometimes I wear gloves, but that's okay. How you doing, Mav? Damn, my finger. It is. Sometimes I've shredded my hands a hell of a lot. There's no surf command here, Mav. Wrong stream, buddy. Excellent. Okay, so that's just a little bit thicker, as you can see. When I glue that flush down, it'll be just a little bit thicker, and we'll just sand it. When we radius the fretboard, it'll bring that down parallel and flush with the fretboard. There we go. So I think we're happy with that. We can probably glue that in place and tape that in. I'm not going to use super glue. I'm going to use proper glue and tape that down because it needs proper glue so that we can see. And that's going to be nice and neat. It's a nice binding. Like that, we can glue that guy down and tape that in there. So let's do that. Let's get another piece ready. So we'll cut another piece this thickness. We've got the length right. We just got to cut another piece. And then we need a short piece for the back to close off the end here. So that's what we're going to do next. Let's put that away. Let's measure another 9mm piece. From the top, let's clean this off first. Let me just sort this out. Get all this card backing that was stuck to the edge and give that a light sand. So I've got a nice straight edge to start with. There we go, nice and straight. Buddy's barking his head off, as you can hear. Good boy. Buddy's a good kid. Listen to him. And that leaves us exactly another third of the thickness to put at the end. So let's go a centimetre there, a centimetre here. We'll draw a line up pretty much half, split this in half. Come on, you. Go. So just mark that guy out so we've got a visual guide. Right, there it is. Okay. We want to split that guy down the middle. I might just start with a saw just to get a nice bit of traction. Okay. Start slicing with our scalpel. We'll do it in small sections so it doesn't doesn't slip, B, we can control our cutting. It's a bit of a nightmare. My fingers are in a little bit of grave danger here, but we'll be okay. Terry, we'll be okay. Don't sweat. Just very carefully slice that down the middle. That's cutting it nicely. Very, very nicely. We'll just do the end and then we'll snap that off, sand it quickly and fix that to the sides. There we go. Wonderful. Sand that guy. There we go. And there's our other end. One on each end. One there. One there. A little bit of a hangover. We'll get a little piece in there. How long does that need to be? That needs to be probably about 57. Let's measure that, shall we? 57 it is, indeed. So, 57. We've got the piece right here. Let's cut a little bit more than we need and we'll trim that as we need. Cross cut it. Always use the little cross cut to cut across the grain. Scalpel is good too, but the cross cut is specifically designed to help cut it cleaner. Like that. And now I'm just going to sand the ends until I get a nice fit in there. So let me just quickly clean the edges so that we get a nice flush. Let's have a look at the width. And there it is. Nice fit. Just in there. And that's our bind, that's our bound neck. fretboard. That's how we're going to do it, guys and girls, okay? So, first things first, let's get the glue out. Let's get this guy glued down. How are we doing? Let me have a drink. It's a little bit warm today. What time is it? Oh, we've got time. We're going good on time. I'm happy with the time. Sleepy, thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say. I try and do as best as I can. Orby is awesome. Do I fix guitars? I'm more of the builder. If you need someone to fix something, Orby's your man. And Rage. Thank you, guys. Cheers, big ears. Here's looking up your old address. Very nice. Okay, let's carry on. I want to glue this down now. We'll grab a little bit of glue. We'll use some wood glue. I've got our tape. We're going to tape this on, and tomorrow we'll be able to glue that down to the neck. Okay, let's grab some wood glue. Let's get back to the bench. Springing on back to the bench, having a look at what we're doing with this
Mom,
guy.
somebody just followed me.
Sleepy Mocha, thank you for the follow. I love the name. Mocha doesn't make me sleepy. It makes me, actually, if it's hot, it does. Hot chocolate makes me go to sleep. Usually I'm bouncing off the walls, dude. Little glue. Doesn't need a lot. Enough to spread that with a little spatula. Ah. Okay, let's tape that guy down. We'll start at one end. We've got a nice flat surface here. Let's just push that on. Like so. Push that on. Just going to tape one end at this stage just to keep it from slipping. Don't you slip. I'll do the back end as well. Push that down. Like that. Put some tension on there. There we go, and that's done. Do the other side as well. Let's see. Yeah, sorry. I try and answer you as quickly as I can, guys. If I do miss a question, I always review the video after I do the show, and I will drop you a DM and answer your question if I read, because I read the chat. Yeah, I'll whisper you the answer if you've got one. Yeah, and you can repost questions as much as you want. Thank you, Terry, for explaining that. You did that beautifully, expertisely. Is that a word? Expertisely? With expertise? Expertingly? Is that a word? Where am I getting all these words from? How come I'm making them all up? What's going on? Are you confused? I am. Right, let's get this one on. So let's get some glue on this baby guy. Alrighty then, let's pop this on. Let me quickly stick this side down. So we don't get slippage or slippage. There's something about this ivory coloured, like a wooden binding, that's sort of vintage looking. I like the ivory sort of, either the ivory colour of plastic or bone or something like that, or the wood colour that's sort of that antique. I do like a vintage looking binding. The pure white ones, that just don't do it for me. I know they use white plastic, but it just doesn't do it for me. This is what I really really like, the ivory or the wood, the natural sort of tones are sort of a little bit, I don't know, better, I guess. Is that what I'd say? Better? Would I call it better? There we go. That's all bound up there. Get some tension on there. Push that hard down hard. Should be okay. And now we'll do the end piece as well. We'll put this little guy right on the end. Get that sanded so it fits in without buckling. Needs to shorten a little bit. Shave a little bit off. Like that. Ooh, that's close. That's very close. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, that's really, really tight. Okay, that's good. Let's get that guy in. push that on. There we go. Bound. Let's leave that guy to rest up, shall we? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the acoustic and we're going to give it another coat of oil before we finish up for today. So I want to do that. It needs one more, and I think it'll be the last coat. I do like the finish that we're getting on that guy. Let me put the scale away. Let me clean this up, and we'll grab that guy and give it another coat. Put some of these tools away, and we'll do that. Who's been drinking? Huh. It's a great explanation. Yes, I do like the natural wood. It is the way to do it. I think if you're going to do binding, you can't be natural wood. If you look at JMO's Les Paul, the Purple Heart that I made him, you know, the one that Dana has conniptions over, that one. I've got Cypress, this stuff here. His binding was made on with this stuff, and it really looks good, especially with the oil on it. It ambered up just a little bit, got a little bit more vintage, and it looks really good against that really glossy Purple Heart body. So he's getting that ready actually for a show. So he's going to use it on stage very, very soon. He did use it at his wedding. Needs a couple of little tweaks. It just needs a couple of little adjustments for his setup. And he said he loves playing it, and he said he's going to use that in an upcoming tour that they're doing, some stage work. So I'll be happy to see that on stage in a professional environment. That'll be good. Can't wait to see that, and I'll let you guys know when it's on. He's on Kick. Glowstick Willie no longer stream on Twitch. They stream on kick.com. So if you go to Kick, which is another streaming platform, you can watch them for free when they're touring or when they're playing. And I'll let you guys know when that's happening. Let's get the body. Let's get some oils on this guy. I've got a new can of oil, Terry. Fresh oil. Is fresh oil good? It is, isn't it? Fresh oil is the best. We need a new oil. It's going to give this a light rub with some steel wool, just a very light rub. Let's get you back down here. There's our beautiful back. Let's give that a light rub. Grab some wool. Just use a little bit of steel wool. Just give that a very light rub. I do like this satin finish, this matte finish. One more coat, and I think it's just going to satin up a little bit more, and then we'll have to leave it there because I think I really, really like that matte finish. Don't you like that finish? Not too much sheen, just nice. It's really, really slick. I love the feeling. It's glassy smooth. Ooh, oil the acoustic. We've got to oil the girl up. Absolutely. Just a light rub. That just flattens it a little bit more, gets a little bit more shine in there. Also removes any fibers or anything that might be dust or anything that may have settled there. Yep, it does. It just coagulates, Tom, and we got down to 30 mils or an ounce or two of oil left, and it just seemed to take up too much oxygen. It'd be open too many times, and bingo. You like the sides? They look good, don't they, Tom? They really look nice. Look at that guy. Really looks good. Yeah. Is it perfect? No, it's not. Is it close to perfect considering it's handmade mostly? Yeah, it's pretty close. There's a couple of marks at the back I'm not happy with. I'm going to have to sand them out and do a little bit of work on the back. But that's okay. I'll do that and I'll get it perfect as I can. Oops. I do love the front with a little bit of oil on it. That front looks just warms up a little bit, and the beautiful the rings down here. That's really nice. You can see that color coming through now. It just gives it a little bit of a breakup than the standard sort of plain top. It's just a little bit of color and the sides and the edges. This binding's turned out really good. That binding is super good. That's really nice. There's not much more you can do with it. Can we hear? Have we got volume? Yes, we do. Am I losing volume or something? Terry, what was the cowbell for? I just didn't notice anything. What I was saying was the oil, if you add spirits to it, once it goes off, it doesn't really help it break down. So, yeah. Okay, let's give that a quick wash. Wash. I'll cut a little bit of this guy. A couple of times. Okay, sorry. You know what it is? It's this cable that I'm running. I've just narrowed it down to one of the USB cables. It must just move, and it's not the best. I don't know. It's doing something strange. But anyway, let's keep going now. We're getting towards the pointy end of the show. So let's give this a little wash and just get the dust off there. Any garbage that might be left over. Just give that a little look. Let's see if there's any fingerprints or marks. Looks pretty good. Get out of the way. Okay, we'll let that dry off a bit and we'll get some spirits, we'll get some oil on there. Let's pop that can open. The woods on this one, this says Queensland maple. The sides are Queensland maple. This is a flamed cap or a flamed back. The sides are a normal ribbon grain Queensland maple. That's what it normally looks like, a lot like the ribbon grain mahogany that you can get. And the top is called Bunya, Bunya, Bunya pine. It's like a celery top pine, or it's a little bit wider grain than, say, a cedar, or a what do they call them? Not cypress. What's the common tops that they use in North America for guitar tops? Anyway, it's a little bit wider banded. It's called Bunya pine. No, that's Woody's. That's Woody's Roundup. That's the wrong one, Terry. I don't even know if we've got one for this one. Have we got one for this one? Dana, does Dana come up with the names? Is she the mistress of the names? Does she name it? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, let's get some oils out. Here they are. Oils ain't oil sol. We'll open that guy up. I'm going to pop this up a little bit higher. Get that camera up nice and high. Let's get that guy up nice and high. There we go. We can actually see the guy cleanly. Fresh can. Give it a nice little swizzle with a stick. So there's the mixture of oil, linseed, and spirits is just evenly mixed. Just like paint, after sitting for a while, it tends to separate. Same with this. Grab a little stick, do a little dance, get down tonight. Why I shake and I don't, why I stir and not shake, because shaking it creates bubbles. Sometimes it gets frothy and you leave bubbles, or they might pop on the surface and give you a little splatter. But some of them are suspended and you can probably get an uneven finish. Funnily enough, so I've been told. I wouldn't know. I haven't actually experienced that. Let's get a glove on. Do a little hole, do a little dance, get down tonight. That's the one, Terry. Do a little hole, do a little dance, get down tonight. Okay. Let's colour this guy. Whoops. Deeper than I thought. Nice big wet coat. And rub that in nicely, and that'll give us our final result, I think. I like this matte finish. The grain is quite porous, quite exposed. I didn't backfill all the grain. What filling has happened is due to the oil only. I haven't used grain filler. I like the textured and the matting that the grain gives. The open grain tends to break up that shine and give you a little bit more of a coarser or rougher surface by look, not by feel. It still feels smooth, but it does tend to give you that matte finish, or a satin finish rather than a glossier finish. With the Tiger Eye on the Les Paul, we are going to grain fill that and get a glass finish, so we can have a high gloss wipe on poly, like the Ocean's little telly that I made my niece. It's going to be nice and shiny. I did like the effect and the result of. I did like that result. There we go, guys. What do you think of that? Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Just checking for any dry spots. There's a few here. Just rubbing that in. Make sure there's no congestion or couldn't build up anywhere. Just spread it out nice and thinly. Go all the way to the edges. Don't forget the edges. Yeah, it looks good. I like it too. I think that's all she wrote, as they say. Um, I'm going to start on the side here. From the top, turn that over. Don't forget the binding. Just seal it all up. It doesn't seep into the binding, but it does give it a coat. It does coat over it and give it a bit of a sheen. Yeah, it's glossy while it's wet. It will die down. I don't want it too glossy. It will die down once once it dries. Let's do the top. Okay, so there's our back. Let's hit our top. It's almost like French polishing. You just do rub in layer after layer after layer after layer after layer. Rub it back, rub in after layer, smooth it out, add spirits, thin it out, thin it out, thin it out, thin it out. It's just French polishing, something I really want to learn. I'm going to have to look into that because it's something I really want to do. Trying to thin it out. I don't need it too thick. I just want it thin on the top. Very matte finish. I want a contrast both in shine and in color with the sides. So I'm rubbing a lot of that back and off, just leaving it semi-wet, sort of a little bit wet, but not too heavy. Not too heavy. Gives it a protective coat without taking too much away from the matte finish. Spin that guy around. Oof. Okay, we're good. Let's flick it over and see how we went. there's our back. You can see that's pretty much the last coat, I think. That'll dry off and that'll look nice and satiny. Sides look a little bit glossy too. Again, they'll satin up nicely when that dries down. And the front is also a little satiny. You can see that there. So it's a nice finish. And there it is there. Look at that water dancing on the back. Beautiful grain. Yeah. I like the gloss acoustic still. I think it depends on the woods. I do like a gloss acoustic that's dark. If you're using rosewoods and cedar, I do like them glossy. Even black, stained, even the stained ones, I prefer them glossy. Let me close up that. So I'll hang this up. Hang it up. And we'll recap. All right. So we've got our coat on there. I'll close this guy up here. Seal that up. We've got our neck all slotted and bound. So that's all bound up. We've got that guy oiled up. What we need to do, of course, is install this neck. And I think tomorrow we might even look at putting this neck in, gluing it up, and continuing on the Les Paul while this one cures and dries in place. Once that's dry, we can start doing the trimming around the heel and blending in and oiling in around that gap. We left obviously a strip at the back, at the joint and on the face of the guitar, where the fretboard needs to stick down with the tenon and the heel. So that's going to stick up against the body, and of course we've left it dry there. So there might be a little gap where we might need to touch it up after we glue that on, but that's coming along nicely. We're getting there, so we're almost there. The neck is finished from a finishing perspective. We've got the oil on that guy. It feels really good. We've polished those frets. They're gold, so it's going to really pop and look nice. Let's see who's on before I head off, guys and girls. Thank you again for being here. And, of course, thank you for Prack Bang and Orby for the raids. That was fantastic. And Rose Begale for the follow. Sleepy Mocha for the follow. Imbo for the follow. And Paula as well for the follow. You guys are awesome. New followers are always good and welcome. And we like to grow our channel. Now, let's see who's on. Peter Northcote, I hope he's on because I loved having him over the other day. He played my guitars and he was a demon. He's not on though. Blacksmith Pop is on. I haven't seen him for a while. Let's go to Blacksmith Pop. Is it Blacksmith Pop? I think it is. How do you spell his name? Blacksmith_Pop. Let's go. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it. You too, Mav. Thank you. Raid. Black. Smith. _Pop. Does that work? We don't know. Did I even type anything? Yes, it did. Okay, guys and girls, I'm out of here. Back tomorrow. Be good. Look after each other. See you then. Bye for now.